Hello everyone, Railgan here again with another ZvZ, and today I want to show you guys how the free Roach opener, which we primarily know as a CVT opener, functions in the ZvZ matchup, and it works a little bit differently as to what you're going to do with the units, but the concept is going to stay the same, and I want to show you guys how I make the transition from the CVT to the ZvZ matchup by playing pretty much the exact same build. As always, you can find the replay down in the description below and all the other useful information as well. I open with a pool first build against the GM Zerg Mantis, but you can also go for a hedge first build instead. What is important is that you take the backdoor natural, and this build almost only, you can technically play it on other maps as well, but it only really works well on maps where you can take a backdoor natural and just have to block one ramp, because that's what the goal of the build. So what I do is I go pool edge gas, I put one drone in the gas as we know from the 3 Roach opener, and then I build the Roach one and then the Queen. So the opener is pretty much the same. You can switch the timings around a little bit here and there, it doesn't really matter that much. Then I usually make 2 links early on for scouting. This time I did not because I saw the overlords, I believe. Actually I do make them a little bit later, but you can also make the links faster. My opponent is building drones, going for a standard hatch first into Baning Nest opener. I move my first queen down here immediately and start a second queen in my main and a third queen at my base over there. And then I make some roaches. The goal is to kill this overlord here. Usually they will send an overlord here to scout. If you go for a pool first opener on this map, you can actually kill the overlord. I only made 2 roaches so far just to be a little bit more greedy. I don't really suspect him to attack me super quickly, so I'm only building 2 roaches and then I wall off with the 2 roaches and the queen at the ramp. But you can also do the same thing with 3 roaches or whatever else you may like. Once my queen in the main was done, I started the lair. I'm getting a second gas around 3 minutes 30 usually. As you can tell, I don't have the ramp fully blocked right now, so he's able to do a little bit of damage because I was being greedy. But once I have the ramp blocked like this, he can't really do that much anymore because he just cannot break through this area, and that is the goal. Our goal is to get into this position where we have the ramp completely blocked. Now, what I want to do is drone up completely, mine 200 gas, and then build the spire. Doesn't really matter that much where you build the spire, it just is important that you build one. My opponent is going for a 3rd hatchery, has 2 hatcheries saturated, is building the Roach one, is building 2 evolution chambers actually. So he's going for melee and carapace upgrades most likely. I have the ramp blocked with roaches and lynx and a queen, and I'm now able to expand. Keep in mind, this expansion is not that important. What is important is that I have these spaces saturated, and right now I'm trying not to build too many additional roaches so that I can maximize my Mutalisks. The amount of Mutalisks that I aim for is like 5 to 6 or 6 to 8, kinda depends a bit, but you really don't need that many Mutalisks. The goal of the build is to build to defend with roaches, make a switch to Mutalisks so that my opponent has to respond with spores or with queens or hydras, and then I just overrun him with roaches. We're gonna see that soon. So now I have the Mutalisks on the map and I try to chase him around a little bit. Just getting a few links here and there. He made a lot of links and I'm most likely going to lose these drones. I don't really need to drone my 3rd base too heavily, like this is already enough drones. All I really need is to build as many roaches as I possibly can on this base count. So I need to block the ramp so he doesn't go in there. And the Mutalisks are not really doing damage to him right now. I'm just spamming roaches. If you check the production tab, I'm getting the 1-1 upgrades and just spamming roaches. I'm at 51 workers still. Did not build many more. Building some overlords right now. And because I built the Mutas, he has to build spores and hydras now. And spores and hydras are not that great against roaches. So I can just go over here and, well, kill him. And that's kind of how the build works. I might show you guys another replay tomorrow or so, where I play against a Roach Ravager Hydra opener and kill him with the same strategy, which is basically just fast 2-edge Mutalisk, defend with Roaches on the ramp, mine very little at my third base so I can just maximize the income out of my gases so I can spend all my money and just overrun him with Roaches. That being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Hope this video helped you guys and I could explain you how this build functions. I'll see you guys soon. Bye!